Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? You are now tuned in to the first episode of The Barbershop, brought to you by Buffalo Fanatics. A little something new. Actually, I can't even call it a little something new. This is something that we did a few years back, actually, and then we put it on ice. We weren't ready, but I think we are ready. And it seems like my man Pierre is turning his hat backwards like he's ready to fight. And I'm not feeling that. So, for those that are tuned in for the very first time, this is the Buffalo Fanatics, joined by my guy Jay Spence the King, joined by my guy Pierre the Kingpin, aka the Chief. And you know what?
Let's go.
We got another guest that's gonna show up, but we're not gonna wait out. We've been keeping you guys waiting long enough. Let's get the party started.
Let's do
This
it.
is the barbershop, where the barbershop is where anything goes. We talk about what we want, and we talk about heated debates. We talk about heated topics, and we are three different personalities that have different views, and we don't really hold back on what we want to say. So, without further ado, first barbershop topic is our quarterback, JA-17 Joshua Peter Allen. Is it Peter? I always thought it was David, but it's Joshua Peter Allen.
Yeah.
Is he MVP quality? Is he a 2020 underdog MVP? Is he that guy? And I'm going to start off with my guy Pierre, because he's been talking a whole lot about that's my guy. He's the MVP. So you have the platform to speak on it. You haven't been here in a long time. You might be a little rusty. Jay Spence is ready to pounce on you.
I'm with it.
So you go ahead. Now, before we get into that, you know the drill. We have to say what's up to the people. Everybody's tuned in right now. There's 50 people tuned in. There's going to be a whole lot of people coming through right now. So shout out to guys like Cody Finney's in the building. Davion Price is in the building right now. James Kehoe, I see you. Corey Buffalo. Man, oh man. There's a whole bunch of y'all in here, and it's going to get real good. Tilt Money's in the building right now. We got to give a shout out. Hold on real quick, because Davion Price said it before. I'll keep saying it. It's the best show on YouTube. Is he right, fellas?
Oh, 100%.
Yo, that's what I'm talking about. Oh,
100%.
we got another one here. Jess Go Bills. Oh, snap. Pierre in the
on, Jeff?
OG.
What's going on, Jess?
I think Pierre's getting way too much love, and I'm about to smash it. Jay Spence is about to smash it. Pierre, the table is yours. The floor is yours. Why is Josh Allen your MVP?
Why not? See, that's the question, though, because a lot of people, they get so caught up in the numbers and what, Josh Allen has done as far as numbers, right? Yes, as far as numbers, he's probably not. There's not something that would make you think that he would be the MVP or in the conversation. But I look at Josh Allen, from a completely different angle, right? Josh Allen has something that a lot of quarterbacks, in my opinion, don't have. And I know my guy Kevin and my guy Steve, Judge Mathis, they don't really want to give credit to the guy who is able to tap into a different gear in his mind, where he's like, look, we need a drive, we have to come back, and I'm going to make it happen. And the fact that we know that he has that so-called clutch gene, that to me is a major reason why I think, with the addition of Diggs and with all the continuity, that Josh Allen could very well be in that conversation for MVP.
You want to know something? You know who else had a really good clutch gene? He went to the University of Florida. He was a left-handed quarterback. He danced around the league a little bit, but by the name of Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow was known as a clutch dude. So you're just gonna give me, because he's clutch, he could be MVP? Let me tell you something. Is Joshua on the level of Lamar Jackson? Is he on the level of Pat Mahomes? I'm just giving you two guys right now that are former MVPs. You're gonna put Josh in that same breath because of some clutch play? Let's be real. I like Josh. He's my quarterback. Jay Spence, I know you got some feelings on this. I'm gonna pass this over to you. Let me do a little crossover real quick. I'm gonna pass it to you, man. Let's go.
Okay, so this is where I want to start. I'm with Pierre. It's like, why not? That's the first question. And while y'all was talking, I was looking it up because, you're talking about Josh Allen MVP stats, and this is that third, right? Mike Vick, 2011, was the MVP. He had 3,300 yards passing, right? So how much did Josh have last season? About there, right?
About there.
He had 18 passing touchdowns. I was trying to find his Russian stats. Y'all caught me a little. I thought Pierre was going to go in.
I think
I do know for a fact,
like 560-ish.
Well, the point that I'm about to make is that Josh Allen is already outplaying an MVP season. He already is showing you that he can perform at that level. He has, to be honest, Josh Allen is more of that mode than Lamar Jackson is at this point, as far as that dual threat. Lamar Jackson is a Russian quarterback. He hasn't mastered that passing yet. Josh hasn't either, but Josh is a better passer than Lamar. If people are going to lie about that, that's one thing. Y'all can go ahead and debate whoever you want. Just don't debate.
I'm not going to let you disrespect my guy like that. I'm
not disrespecting Lamar. I'm not. I wasn't about to.
You don't think
I love Lamar.
Disrespectful?
No, if I'm being honest, that's not disrespect. If I'm saying that you are a better runner, like if you're athletic and all of that stuff, but I think that Josh has already shown us more with his arm than Lamar Jackson.
What is 36 touchdown passes? 36 touchdown passes. What does that mean? Am I not a passer? I'm throwing for 36 touchdown passes by Lamar Jackson. Am I not a passer?
How many did you have last season?
36 touchdown passes. What I'm telling you right now.
Okay. No, I'm listening to you.
Okay. So you can't tell me Lamar Jackson isn't a passer. He is your typical dual threat. He can.
What I can tell you is
proved it to you.
Nah, Rico. Let me tell you this because I've been waiting to talk to you. To be honest with you, I've been waiting, my G. No, what I'm saying, and this is what I mean. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm not saying that Lamar Jackson isn't a quarterback. He is. That's why he was drafted at the position. Right. That's why he won the MVP last year because he did both things. I'm not at all trying to diminish that. What I'm saying is going to the future. Josh Allen now has the weapons that he needs. He hasn't had those weapons this whole time.
Exactly.
Every year. So the 2 years that he's been in the league, he didn't have these type of weapons. When he was in college, he definitely didn't have these type of weapons. He's always been the most talented person on the team. Now, what I'm saying is Lamar Jackson previously, he's had dogs with him. Last year, he had, that roster. Come on, man.
I'm in agreement with you.
So what I'm saying is now when you look at that fast forward, now Josh has the talent around him. You got Stephon Diggs on the outside. You got John Brown on the outside. We got Beasley in that slot. We got two running backs that could start on any other team in the league, probably besides like going to Dallas or the Giants because of Saquon and Ezekiel Elliott. So we have the team now that really there's no excuse. So at this point, I don't think he's a dark horse MVP candidate. I think the expectation should be, well, Josh, if you're the number one draft pick that we think you are, the reason why we drafted you, now we gave you everything that you need. You should be an MVP candidate. It's not a dark horse.
Okay. Before I rebuttal you, sir, I've got to introduce our guy, Ferrell Sterling, Stirls for the Girls, aka one of the co-hosts of the Hook podcast. How you doing, big brother? How you doing, man?
Oh, what's up, man? What's good?
Everybody,
I hear Spence over there rapping about Josh Allen. Y'all know.
He's rapping about it. So let me break something down for some of the folks out there. Quarterback position that have earned MVP titles. Let me give you some statistics because sometimes that's what it comes down to: statistics and W's.
Wait, hold on. Before you keep on going, I want you to find those same MVPs and what they did the year before they won the MVP. Right?
That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about quarterback that is going to be MVP. You are deeming Joshua as the quarterback that's going to be the MVP. So I'm giving you the quarterbacks that have been MVP and their statistics.
Yeah, but look,
and my man on the bottom screen, Mahomes, why not?
When it comes down to Mahomes, no one thought that in his second year, after playing an okay game in week 17, that he was going to be that good to be the MVP. No one thought after Lamar Jackson's rookie season that the very next year he was going to win MVP. So again, it's not like, they've had an established, type career and in 1 year, they just popped. It's like Josh Allen could very well look, Diggs just by himself is able to help in a lot of areas, man. A lot of areas. See, a lot of times last year, we messed up on some, minor, just executable mistakes, man. It was just minor stuff, man.
Okay.
And it seemed to be between, the 50 to 35 yard line. But I'm telling you, Diggs by himself, man, can help a lot of things.
You're absolutely right. Before I get into my spiel, because I'm about to get it, you about to try to make me go cold. No. I'm still hot on that. Okay. For Sterling, jump in here and let me know how you feel about this. Because right now, Rick James straight up says, Rico, you wrong. So it seems to me that I'm going to use the H word. Some people don't like me using the H word. I'm going to use the H word. I think we got a whole lot of homers in this place. And I'm about to be the one to kind of call y'all out for that. I don't like this homer business. Just because he's on your team, don't mean you can propel him to put him on that level yet. Because how about we get him to Pro Bowl status first before we say he's going to be the MVP of the league? But before I get into my spiel, Sterls, talk to me. How you feel about that?
So we talking realistic or we talking hopeful? That's what I mean. That's the basis that we got to start with, right? Because I mean, number one, we got to realize when has the Bills ever had an MVP candidate? I think that plays into it from the national media perspective, right?
Yeah,
answer that one.
Mm-hmm.
So you have the normal standard for what an MVP stats look like, and then I think Josh Allen will have to hit that and above to be even accepted for the conversation to be in the MVP race. I think a lot of it's political, but does Josh Allen have every talent and ability to do so? Absolutely. But will he? I don't think so. I mean, he's going to have to beat 36 touchdowns. He's going to have to get 40 and 10 rushing for it to happen.
Okay. So here's where I commit. Now, before I do, James Kehoe says Josh Allen is a beast, no doubt. But we're setting a dinner table for where he's not even invited yet. Too many great QBs right now for JA to be in the conversation. You guys clearly disagree with that.
Let me hit that. Yeah,
get that.
Because first I want to comment on something that Sterling says. So first, he's talking about the expectation and talking about Buffalo never having an MVP candidate. For starters, Buffalo for the last 2 decades has never had a team that should look like they have an MVP candidate. We haven't made the playoffs. We haven't been winning. So why would we have an MVP candidate? It's the team, you know what I mean? It's not the national media. What we do is, as Bills fans, we get so offended. Oh, the media is disrespecting us. Guess what? We haven't won. So how are we being disrespected when we really haven't put a product on the field that said, you know what? You guys are getting primetime games. Now we fast forward to this season. Last year, Josh Allen showed up. The defense showed up. So now it's okay, Buffalo's for real. This season coming up, we got 4, possibly 5 primetime games. So now the stage is set for Josh to show on primetime television that he is the MVP candidate. Also, can you go back to that one comment? Because I didn't want to forget that, Rico. My bad. I know you're doing your thing.
Which one?
The one that you... No. It's okay if you can't... It was the one that you had up when I was but no, I'm just saying. So Sterling, I like I said, you always bash my guy Josh. You even came on the code of conduct talking about he ain't clutch and all this stuff. Listen, Josh Allen is he's tied as the most clutch quarterback in the league last season. So how could you? I just think you have. I'm gonna use a different H word for you. You got some haterism in you. You know what I'm saying? I need you to really I really need you to chill on my guy Josh. I'm just saying, I got love for you.
I like that H word.
I think where the issue.
James Spence, was this one the one you're talking about right here?
That was the one. Was the one. Okay, real quick. I'm sorry, Sterling. Let me get this one too, and then I'm gonna shut up. Huh?
What?
Let me get this one too, real quick. Too many great QBs at the table right now for Josh to be in the conversation. I'm sorry. Was he not a number 1 draft or first round draft pick? The expectations that come along with first.
So was Jamarcus Russell. What's your point?
No. And he was a bust. He had expectations that he didn't live up to. So we have expectations for Josh. You can't say that he shouldn't be in the conversation. He's a first round draft pick.
Is he living up to expectations as a top 10 draft pick?
I think at the moment he's actually exceeding them.
Exactly. How not, man?
We didn't expect to make the playoffs with Josh Allen until this season, actually. If you remember, going back to when Brandon Beane and when Sean McDermott was hired, there was a clear plan set in place. And Josh Allen, we weren't they're oh, it's going to take 3 to 4 years before we can really put the team on the field that we want. We're in year 3. So this This is the year where it's like, okay, now we can get the talent we want. Next year was supposed to be the year where it's like, all right, we're going for it. If you look at the contracts that they set up, the contracts end after like next year and the year after. Like this is the window. So I'm telling you, don't sleep on what the team has expectations. Now, as fans, we might be saying, no, it's too early because we're so used to being let down. That's what it is. We got to get out that heartbroken mentality.
And I'm gonna agree with you there. I'm gonna completely agree with you there because right now and I think we all agree, and as fans and as content creators, that this is our window. This is our window. And I have a follow-up question to all of this, but I'm not going to forget about the point I was going to try to make earlier. So I'm not going to let y'all. I need y'all to shut your mouths and let me bring it to you guys, all right? So here's the deal. Let's go back to 1999. All right? MVP was Kurt Warner. 4,300 yards, 41 touchdowns. Let me break that down to you again. 4,300 yards, 41 touchdowns. Let's go to Rich Gannon. Old man Rich Gannon, 46 and 26. People, Tom Brady, 48 and 50. Remember that year? MVP of the league. Tom Brady again, old age, 39 and 36. Let's go to Aaron Rodgers, 46 and 45. Peyton Manning, 54 and 50. Listen, people, 3,000 yards and 23 touchdowns and nine rushing TDs doesn't get you MVP. Now, if he starts putting wins together, maybe he can be in that conversation. But what he's been giving us statistically doesn't even, like my man James said, he doesn't even get to sit at the table. He doesn't even get to sit at the table.
Is he able to progress to that? Do you think that he can progress to that?
These type of numbers?
No, yeah.
No.
Then
he's not that guy.
All right, then we should go ahead and move on then.
I was gonna say that's the conversation right there. That's the reason why you don't see him as an MVP candidate.
Exactly, because you don't actually believe in Josh Allen to progress to the dominant franchise quarterback.
So hold on, time out. So do you envision? Let me be real, and I'm gonna apologize. Hold on a second. I'm gonna apologize. 1 second. Be real. Be real. This is why we're here. Sturls, don't stay silent on this, okay?
Oh, I won't.
You mean to tell me you see Josh Allen throwing for 40 touchdowns?
No way.
Can you envision Josh Allen throwing for 40 touchdowns?
No. He can't. I mean, the stats back that
Let's
up.
go to 35. Can you envision 35 passing touchdowns from Josh Allen?
As a ceiling, for sure. I can envision 35 as a ceiling. I can see that. If we are as hopeful as we think the offense is going to be, but Brian Dable's still the offensive coordinator. And I've been saying this for a long time. I think Josh Allen in a spread offense, I think he could probably reach those numbers. But Josh Allen in a pro style, play action heavy offense and a run offense, that ain't going to happen. It's just not going to happen. He ain't going to get it.
Can you put, and I got to be rude with you, can you put Josh Allen in the same conversation as Russell Wilson? I'm trying Deshaun Watson. I'm trying to think of like a guy that can give you a high volume passing yards and touchdowns. Aaron Rodgers. Can you put Josh Allen in there right now? And it might be too soon to say it. Maybe a year from now. Could you see him in that? Y'all can see him truly in that ballpark.
Nah, but the thing about it is just like that's my argument though, man. It's just like why are we so focused on the numbers as to why?
Because the numbers is what gets you the MVP.
No, but understand.
But it's not.
It's not.
But it's not.
That's the thing. It's not everything. Look, for example, you failed.
Then Alex Smith should have won MVP.
What's that?
Then Alex Smith should have an MVP then.
I'm telling you, a whole bunch of mediocre quarterbacks should have MVP.
No, but look, Rico, he failed to actually mention Cam Newton. Look up Cam Newton's numbers. He didn't pass for over 4,000 yards.
He just went on this whole speech about Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson didn't have 4,000 yards.
Cam Newton, MVP year, 3,800 yards and 35 touchdowns.
Exactly.
What about Lamar?
Yeah.
But what about Lamar? He didn't have 4,000 either. He just won MVP.
But
I'm
look,
looking at. Go ahead.
The year Mike Vick won.
What we fail to actually remember is that we have a dominant defense, and record is a huge piece into who wins the MVP as well, right? So if you're the best player on the team that's winning the most games, then that puts you in the conversation. For sure. See, look,
Now-
Josh Allen had 29 touchdowns last year. You know, we want to separate him as, he only had 20 passing touchdowns, as to if we're going to ignore the rushing. He had 29 total touchdowns, right? He accounted for 29 touchdowns, period, right? So to think that he can't get 11 more when you have the same offense, the same unit with a damn elite, talented Diggs, come on, man. I don't know, man. I think you don't. It's because you don't see the vision. You don't see him progressing to that. That's why you're like, but I actually see that, though, for sure.
I think personally, I think you guys are thinking more with your hearts than you guys don't want to take your hearts out because it's your team, it's your quarterback. I get it, fellas. You love the team. You love it.
Rico. No, it's not even about my love for the team.
This is fact.
My bad here.
He was the number one fourth quarter quarterback last year, period. When you needed to win, what did Josh Allen do?
What about quarters 1 through 3 though?
But look, we actually failed to wanna acknowledge how important digging yourself out of a hole is, right? Because a lot of quarterbacks aren't able to do that, right?
True.
If you're messing up the first 3 quarters, you're probably going to mess up the fourth as well. You mentioned Alex Smith. If you're not leading, Alex Smith is not going to bring you back. That's his whole thing. You have to be winning in order for Alex to, but as far as Josh Allen, he can put us in a deep hole, but the fact that he's able to get us out of it, that I'm telling you, the dude is different, man.
But you know what? Now I have to disagree with you, Pierre. Like now I have to disagree with you too.
You better get his ass.
No, because I got to disagree with you too. Because the thing is, it's not that he just like puts us in these holes now. We're talking about like last season. You want to talk about his turnovers and Josh put us in these deep holes. The first few weeks of the season, he put us in deep holes. Josh Allen didn't turn the ball over for the majority of the season. Y'all gonna put some respect on my quarterback's name. And it's not me being a homer. Hold on, cuz I'm gonna finish this because y'all disrespectful. Y'all disrespectful talking about my quarterback, man. And y'all talking about these yards and all these touchdowns and stuff. Listen, Josh got 10 wins last season when y'all didn't think we was going to get 8. Y'all going to put some respect on my quarterback's name. And now y'all talking about it's the homer in me. Listen, let me tell you. Last season, it was execution. It had nothing to do with Brian Daboll. When you give the ball to a Hall of Fame running back on 3rd and 2 and he can't get first down, that stalls drives. So if Josh Allen is able to stay on the field because our running back can pick up 3 yards on a 3rd and 2, now guess what? There's more opportunities to score touchdowns. Will he score touchdowns if he doesn't have that? No. So that's why last season, a lot of times the offense was stagnant. Our running game hurt us. Our passing game hurt us because he didn't trust anybody downfield besides John Brown. They didn't use Robert Foster at all for some weird reason. Isaiah McKenzie was like a gadget player. No, we need from Josh Allen's rookie year, Foster was used downfield more often than not. Last year, they didn't use him in that capacity. So what I'm saying is now you have a couple people that he can trust on the outside and all that other stuff. Y'all gonna put some respect on my quarterback's name.
Wow.
I'm done. I'm muting myself.
Wow. Hey, you might as well put that
He's gonna be back
with him crying, come on, that's my quarterback up. Because that's a Hall of Fame testimony right there, bro. Hey, but here's my question though.
MVP.
Y'all get at me on this. Y'all talk about Josh Allen playing out of holes. I only seen it one time, and that was the first game of the season. I mean, the Bills defense kept them in games. It's like this. It's like you can love Josh Allen and then you can hate him, right? But the only thing I'd point out is what he's not good at. He's not good quarters 1 through 3. He's not consistent. Does he have every ability? Absolutely. But if you're gonna be a top quarterback in the league, why don't we talk about this stuff when we talk about Russell Wilson? Because he's established. He knows what he's doing. Russell Wilson has a clutch gene too, but Russell Wilson has the ability to be consistent through quarters 1 through 3, and that's a full game quarterback. You can't just go in there talking about Josh got us in the 4th. No, man, come on. What we shouldn't be in these positions. We got a top defense, like Pierre said. Why are we in these positions? That's my problem with Josh Allen.
I disagree because when I watch the games, as far as me, Josh Allen in the offense, they normally have a consistent first quarter. They normally come out strong. They kind of fizzled out in the second. They're non-existent in the third, of course, and then Josh Allen becomes the best quarterback in the league in the fourth. So I don't think it's there's 3 quarters. I think it's just like
Okay.
one and a half.
I need to jump in real quick because there's several things that you guys are not talking about, and this is what's going to cancel Josh Allen out of MVP talks. We averaged 17 to 19 points a game. Your MVP doesn't allow you to only score 17 to 19 points a game. He takes over. Don't even give me that. That's the facts. Okay.
No, you keep saying the same stuff.
Does not cut it. You can't depend on your defense to hold these other guys to 14 points all the time. Sometimes your quarterback has to will you to 25 to 30 points a game.
I just won that debate, Rico. I just won that.
Hold on a second.
I just beat you.
I'm not done. Didn't you say you're going to mute yourself? Go back on mute.
I did.
Okay,
y'all told me to come back. Y'all said Y'all told me to testify. Y'all told me to come back.
Okay, that's number one. So his points, that doesn't help us get to MVP chatter. Okay, so that's another thing. Wins. Now, Dunny Martin, I put that up there for a reason, right? He says, I think before we talk MVP, he needs to beat division teams, weak teams consistently. 5,000 yards won't get MVP if you lose to teams you should beat. Now, I bring that up not because I'm completely in agreement with him, but there are going to be some games, especially this year, because we have a tough schedule, that he is going to have to win with his arm, because teams now have the game, the blueprint on Mr. Allen, right? So he's going to have to will it. So if he's going to get MVP this year, he's going to have a hell of a year. And statistically, this is the way the game is played. You got to put numbers up. Your numbers don't get you the MVP status. I'm sorry. It just doesn't happen. So, folks, that H word is going to come right back because you guys are speaking from 2 H words. You guys are speaking from the heart, and you guys are showing me a lot of Homerism. I might be a hater, but I'm keeping it real. That's what Rico does. Real Rico underscore BF. That's what I do. Sturls, hit him, man. I can't. I can't with these guys, man.
It's like 2-on-2. It's like tag team over here, bro.
Yeah, it's dope. This is dope.
Off the top rope, look, Pierre, look, he itching to get back in there. Hey, no, you're right though. I mean, 17 points a game ain't gonna cut it, man. It's just not gonna cut it, y'all. I mean, I think we always talk about Josh's potential, right? That's what it's about. It's always potential, but not what is he doing now. I like Josh Allen. I think he's good. He's not great yet. It's gonna take a few years for him to get to the MVP talk, though. Yeah, you're right, Rico. I mean, the schedule is going to be a beast.
It's a tough
schedule. Is going to be a beast.
Now, I need to touch on everybody here to let them know this is the Buffalo Fanatics. You are joined by myself, Rico, my guy Jay Spence is in the building, Sturls is in the building, and my guy, the big chief, the big boss, Pierre, the kingpin. This is the barbershop. We are going to try to bring this to you guys on a bi-weekly basis. Just to get a feel for what is going to come this season. This is just the off season, folks. This is just the off season, man. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Now, before we move on from this topic, because I really don't want to move on from the topic, Scott Blakely says he needs weapons like every revered quarterback out there. Tired of this crap. Josh Allen is a gamer and has more passion to win than any QB in the NFL. Now, weapons are here. It's sufficient. Numbers, he will show it all. Now, I have to say, I think we all are on the same page that we want our team to have success. We want Josh Allen to have success, right? I think we're all on the same page in terms of that, but we are going to have some differing opinions. Cody Finney, he says, Spence dropping the mic. Get him, brother. I got your back. Get him. And as for not good quarterback quarters 1 to 3, how about Daboll? Call a 60-minute game and not go conservative after going up 10 points. So now he's calling out the OC. So actually, that's a good segue.
I agree.
How much of this season's success, shall I say, is going to fall on the shoulders of Brian Daboll putting Josh Allen in proper position to get us some W's and will us to being a strong team in the AFC? Pierre, I'm gonna start with you, man. So Daboll, how much pressure is on Daboll for Josh Allen to have a successful year?
I mean, there's going to be pressure on him because the offense definitely has to, do better than what it did last year for sure. But I personally think that Daboll's not the issue. The offensive play calls, in my opinion, as far as getting a young quarterback who likes that contact, who likes to make big plays, who doesn't like the check down. I think he calls a very solid game. Our main thing is just execution, like Jay Spence said. If Josh Allen is able to fix the deep ball, that's it. Josh Allen comes exactly how he was last year. Bring everything back the exact same and just fix the deep ball by itself. Man, we're not going to be blaming, Brian Dable then.
So you don't think that? Hold on, I got to understand. I got to understand this, because I think a couple years back you weren't blaming, because I was blaming Brian Daboll for everything. And y'all remember me. Y'all used to call me the hater on Brian Daboll, but I thought Brian Daboll was the worst OC in the league. Get his bum ass out of here. But now you're singing a different tune. You're singing a different tune.
Nah, I've never been an OC guy. I've never been.
You were in agreement with me.
Guy. No. I've never been a blame the OC guy. Even going back to Tyrod and Rick Dennison. I've never been a blame OC guy. It has to always be about execution, Rico. That's what it's always about. If the quarterback is not able to execute the game plan, it has to be just on the execution. We had, like drop balls. Look, it's not always on the play callers. It's just not.
And it's going to come down to Josh having a big year, and everybody's got to be on the same page. I think we're all on that. So now, for those that are watching, actually, somebody made a great point. I'm going to try to go back and try to find it. But for those that are watching, how are you guys feeling about this panel of myself, Rico, Pierre, Jay Spence, and Sturz? How are you guys feeling about this panel? Are you guys here for this type of content? If you guys are, throw up a hand. Give me one of these. Give me a fireball. Give me something to show the support that we have coming from you guys, right? One thing I do want to say is I want to shout out to my guy Jay Spence. He's got the Code of Conduct pod that's out once a week. He's got some fire guests that are going to be coming his way. And if I go to the left, I got my guy Sturls, part of the Hoof Pod. Am I saying it right? I don't know if it's my the Canadian in me. Is it the Hoof? The Hoof? What is it?
The Hoof. It's
the Hoof. Okay, my bad. I got it. It's part of the Hoof podcast. And they've got some special guests coming their way as well. I don't know how he's doing it. I don't know how they're doing it. But you guys need to tune in for that. We got the Buffalo Fanatics Podcast Network that's killing the game right now. 7 days a week. We got something for you guys, and I appreciate it. So looking at what everybody's saying right now, I think they appreciate the content that is being brought to them today. For those that are tuned in for the first time, this is the Buffalo Fanatics, and this is the Barbershop. So, gentlemen, did we sway anybody here today? Did we sway Pierre from him not potentially being MVP, or are you stronger in your convictions of him being MVP?
I actually want to add a point, right? Because, shout out to Judge Mathis. He's taking a beating right now. The fans are not real pleased with my guy, Steve. Shout out to Steve, though. Shout out to Steve. But he said that he would pick, Kyler Murray over Josh Allen. And, of course, I was like, okay. I watched every game of Kyler Murray over the last, I want to say, 72 hours. And there were 3 games that he had a chance to will his team to victory. And he went 0-3. So I'm telling you, we cannot discredit the gear that Josh Allen goes in when it comes down to those, clutch moments. I mean, because look, it's like even going back to just, figuring out like why we get put in certain positions. And
right.
If Josh Allen is struggling, but he's able to figure a way to look. I don't know, man.
Let me tell you something. I want to talk to DSand65. DSand65 says Big Ben never was MVP. Dude was just a winner. Everyone would sign up for Allen to have a career like Big Ben. Would you guys be okay with Allen having a career like Big Ben?
If it got me a Super Bowl, yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So we don't necessarily need our quarterback to be MVP. We don't need that. He just needs to get us some W's.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's, to me, in my opinion, that's where I stand. I don't give a damn if you get MVP. Just get me some W's and get my team to the damn Super Bowl and win the damn thing. I don't care if my partner wins the damn MVP. Did we win the Super Bowl? Can I go to Buffalo? Can I go to Western New York and enjoy myself? Because I'll get my passport and I'll fly over there. I usually drive, but I'll fly. I'll take first class. If freaking house money is my MVP, let's do it. I'm just saying, man.
How much money won't be on the team? But I mean, I'm with you.
I'm just saying. So, Josh Allen, we're 36 minutes in. For those that are tuned in as the Buffalo Fanatics, I will say this though: we are launching the Patreon. We are relaunching our Patreon. I need y'all to pay attention because this is where you're going to find the barbershop. Right now, we're giving you guys this content. There's going to be exclusive content, and let me tell you something. There's one thing that's really cool that we're going to try to put in for you guys. You go to here, supportbf.com. Part of our Patreon relaunch that we're doing right now, when we have panels like this, if you are part of our Patreon squad, we have over 30 plus members right now. If you're a part of our Patreon squad, you get to be one of these members on the panel right now. If you feel that you can hang with us, you get to join the table. Join supportbf.com. That's it, and that's simple. And let me get out of there. So next topic, fellas. Next topic. We have to address the elephant in the room. We just lost a big piece, in my opinion, on the O-line. I know the Hook podcast just touched on this in their last podcast with the O-line. So this kind of plays in real good. So is John Feliciano's loss huge? And now before I get there, can y'all tell me who dropped that information? I was trying to look for league sources. Pierre, do you know who dropped that information?
I don't know. I think it was us. Yeah.
Was it the Buffalo Fanatics?
I think
Buffalo
so.
Fanatics.
I think so.
Oh,
Is this thing on? I think it is on.
Hit him again with it.
Little flex. That's it. We're back at it. We're back out of it. But on to real things. John Feliciano, I think, is going to be a major piece lost. So Jay Spence, jump in on this for me, and I want Sterls. You like Sterling or you like Furrow? Which one? Which is best?
Furrow's my last name. Just hit me with Sterls or Sterling, man.
Yeah, I got you. So Jay Spence, hit me with it. How you feel about the loss of John Feliciano?
Well, it's a big loss for sure. But it's also one of those things where, in my mind, it could end up being a blessing in disguise. I'm one of the Bills fans who wasn't a fan of Cody Ford being at right tackle. I think he should be moved into right guard. I think if they have either Nasecki or honestly, I think a sleeper in this whole thing is Trey Adams. I mentioned that previously. Me and Sterls talked about that for a while, where I feel like, he had first round talent. He obviously got injured in college, and then he had a bad combine, so he failed dramatically. He wasn't even drafted, but I think he has the talent. So we have some depth, and we have pieces that we can move around. My hope is just that Cody Ford is moved to right guard, and that, because I think he can flourish there. So it is a big loss, but at the same time, I do think Brandon Beane and Sean McDermott did a great job giving us some depth on the offensive line. And I think, honestly, I'm not worried. I would love for him to be in there and killing it, but I'm not worried.
And I would be in agreement with you with that, because I think we all agree as content creators and fans that Beane has been a monster when it comes to bringing depth to this team. And we've seen how one guy goes down and the whole season goes to the garbage, to the trash can. Sterls, with Feliciano being out, how do you see the lineup shaking up?
Well, first, I will say that not having him in the lineup, we're going to lose some nastiness on that, right? Because that was his major contribution to the line, right? So they're going to hurt in that aspect, but I think they're going to make that up in the technical aspect, because I think Darrell Williams is going to play right guard. Okay. Now, we've seen this song before. Cordy Glenn was drafted as a tackle. They thought, well, his best position is guard. We got to keep in mind that Cody Ford played it in the Big 12. They didn't play no defenses. So you getting in the NFL, you're playing the best of the best. I mean, that's a big transition. That's a big jump. but my guy handled Von Miller when they played the Denver Broncos. We forget that.
That's
and
fact.
we saw as the season moved along, Cody Ford and Ty Nsekhe, they didn't platoon so much. They didn't interchange and sub out so much. So Cody, they drafted him to be the right tackle. We've had a hole at right tackle for 5 years. I mean, because Jordan Mills was he wasn't getting it, bro. He was
Turnstile Mills.
Huh?
I remember him. Turnstile
Remember
Mills. Turnstile.
So the left side of the line, you got Dawkins, you got Spain and Morse. That's solid, right? Right guard, you're gonna go with Darrell Williams. Right tackle, I think it's Cody Ford. And I agree with Spence. I think Trey Adams is going to make the team. Have we not we've forgotten that the Bills have the best medical staff, the best training staff in the NFL. That dude, and he may not play much this year, but come next year, I'm telling you, that kid is going to ball out on that line. He's going to ball out.
And I'm in agreement with you. I think we draft him in the second round. We don't draft him in the second round to make him go back and forth, to make him interchangeable.
Right.
I feel that's more of a backup role for if you're a backup, if you're Ryan Bates, for instance, that can play all 5 across the line, that it makes sense. But if you draft a guy second round to be your pillar at right tackle alongside with Deion Dawkins on the left, you got to let him mature in that position. Yep. And him being alongside John Feliciano, I think he rubs shoulders with the right individual. Get that nastiness onto you, and then you progress that into the league. Now, right. Pierre's nodding his head in agreement. Now, do you feel that the right position? Like, here's the thing, and I had a double question, but I'm gonna just hit you with it right now. With the right guard open, John Feliciano used to cover Mitch Morse for center. Yep. So now that leaves a huge void. What do we do with that backup center position?
As far as right now, it has to be sent. I think Spencer Long.
Okay.
He's able to play, guard and center. So it definitely has to be him. But, going back to, John Feliciano, Sterling said it best, man. The guy was a dog, right? And it just seemed as if, when he was going through his personality, it seemed like Cody Ford, that came into his own as well. So I think he'll be a big loss. I've been reading a lot of people saying that, it's a plug and play position, but I think you said it best yesterday, Rico, it's like losing that continuity in general when Josh Allen, when this is his year,
yes,
it's always a bad move. It's always a bad move.
And I'm gonna say this because my man Judge Mathis just mentioned Evan Boehm. Am I pronouncing that right? Boehm?
Boehm?
Is it Boehm?
Yeah.
What does it say again?
Boehm.
Boehm. Damn.
I thought it was Boehm. I've been saying it like that for years.
Yeah.
I've been saying Boehm.
University of Missouri.
So Evan Boehm coming in at center. See, he is a dark horse to take that backup center position. And Judge Mathis took care of an excellent article when we dropped the Feliciano news, and he broke down each and every one of our depth players and where they can slot in and fit in. Shout out to my guy Judge Mathis. I know he's getting killed out in the Twitter streets, but my man put out a banger of an article. And if you guys haven't had a moment to check that out, go ahead and check that out. I think that one name that I don't know why I'm the only one mentioning this, is Markel Harrell. I don't know why people are not mentioning Markel Harrell more often at guard. And I think they should put him in to kind of test him out to see how he fares in between Morris and Cody Ford, to see how he does. But, man, we've got some depth. We are good with it. This is one of those situations where one of the unsexiest position groups is getting a lot of attention. And I think that we'll be just fine as long as they protect the front side of Josh Allen. With Cody Ford, I think we'll be all right. With Coach OG Bobby Johnson, I think we'll be just fine. He'll plug and play these guys, and we'll be good. I have a question. Yeah, go ahead.
To go back to the Darrell Williams with what Sterling was saying with him playing right guard, that's actually interesting because I see him more as a right tackle as far as like that being his best position. I believe PFF ranked him pretty highly in 2018, and then due to injuries on the line, they moved him around, and he kind of struggled at left tackle and wherever else he was playing. But at right tackle, I think he was pretty solid. So if anything, if at the very least I actually see, Ford, if anything, moving into that right guard and putting, Derrick Williams at right tackle.
See, a lot of people say he was an all-pro, and why are we dismissing right tackle for Darrell Williams? Do you want to get your second round young guy ready to go at right tackle and leave him there, or do you want to put I don't want to call him a journeyman because he's not a journeyman, but a guy that's the backup right now and plug him in at right tackle when you have a bona fide young player that can turn into potential Pro Bowl right tackle? I just don't understand.
Best five though. So if that's best five, then.
But let me jump in real quick though.
But it's not the best five long term, and that's what I think. That's one of the things that we don't, as fans, it's hard for us to see long term because there has to be a plan in place, right?
Mm-hmm.
We don't have Deion Dawkins; he's not re-signed yet, right?
Right.
Spain just signed a 3-year deal. Mitch Morse he's on a 4-year deal, so the right side of the line is in question. So why spend a second round pick on Cody Ford, who you told that was going to be the right tackle?
Correct.
For someone who has an injury plague later part of his career with him and Ty Nsekhe, right? So we would jeopardize the growth of production of Cody Ford at right tackle just to move him inside to right guard. Now, I mean, this kind of goes back to the Josh Allen thing, but I'm totally cool with putting someone inexperienced or even a rookie at right guard because Josh, he's probably one of the best quarterbacks in the league at getting away from pressure, right? So I think you roll the dice with Darrell Williams. The Bills love position flexibility on the offensive line, right? So, yeah, I think Darrell Williams, I think he's great at right guard because he's not going to have to do all that athletic stuff that tackle requires. Let the young buck do it.
You know what? You made a fantastic point. When you can put in anybody in that right guard position and let them materialize, because if you look at guys like Mahomes, your Deshaun Watsons, your Joshua Allens, you can get away with having, I don't want to say poor, but average guard because they're right in front of you. They're right in front of the quarterback. The quarterback can give you a little shimmy and he buys himself time. But when that right tackle gets blown up, now we've seen in the past with Mills, with the likes of Mills, it blows up the whole play and there's nothing you can do about that. A guard, you have a little bit of time, a little bit of leeway to kind of move around and scramble. And that's one of Josh's strengths in his game. And I say that's a great point. Pierre, what you got?
Real quick. Oh, I'm sorry. Can I? Because I don't want to forget this one point. And it's more so a question. I'm not. This one isn't a debate. About Cody Ford. Obviously, we drafted him to be a right tackle. But my question to you guys is: so, he did handle Von Miller, okay, but for the majority of the season when he was in, it wasn't a favorable. We just didn't see a good performance out of him. You can say it how you want. Yeah, we drafted him second round, all this stuff. It just wasn't a great performance throughout the season. There were flashes. So my question is, how long do we have a player not perform well before we say, well, maybe that's not the best position for him? He has also the reason why I'm saying put him at right guard is not because I just think he should be, it's not that I don't want him at right tackle. He's been at right guard and he played pretty well. See, the thing is, we're also forgetting that we're not having a preseason this year. So you have to also think about continuity with guys who have played together. So I get that Williams is in, and I also I just mentioned Trey Adams myself. But again, if you've had a point, even if it was only for moments during the preseason, where Nsekhe and Cody Ford are used to playing with each other on that right side, we're going into a season where we don't have the reps that we normally have every offseason. So what I'm saying is, you do have to have a plan long term. I agree with all of you. Like, I'm not debating you, but you also have to factor in everything that we're experiencing this year. It's more than just saying, all right, he held Von Miller last year. It's more than that.
Right. But and I will say this, and I'm going to rebuttal that, but I will say this, that Sterling just got a fan, boy. Sterling just got a new follower. Dude is on point. He doesn't talk much, but when he does, it's gold. You like the dude that sits in the back when you go to a party and everybody's brawling and Sterling's in the back, and the one that's the most silent is the one that's the most deadly. You got to watch out for Sterling, man. That's that dude. Now, I do have to say this though. And I saw a comment that I wanted to touch on, and I may have let it slip. It was Daniel Gorey's. He mentioned something that was actually excellent. And I'm going to paraphrase here if I can't find it. He said, instead of changing two positions by moving forward to guard and now trying to find a right tackle, why make all these changes? Make one change. Leave Ford at right tackle. Let him develop. Let him get what he needs to get out of that position, and then use that one position to have that interchangeable instead of having two changes. I think that's a very low key point because making all these changes on the line, we know how that can disrupt the continuity on offense. So try to keep things in uniform by not making all these changes and moves. It allows Josh Allen to have time to do what he's got to do. Now, folks, that is our time. If you guys appreciate this type of content with these fine young men here that are bringing that content to you, give us a bit of fire emoji, light that board up. Let us know how you feel. And I'm going to let my guys plug where you can find their podcasts at and what they could be looking forward to. So I'm going to start with my guy, Jay Spence. Jay Spence, what do the fans, what do the viewers and listeners have to look forward to on the next Code of Conduct?
Well, this Wednesday coming up on Code of Conduct, I actually have two guests again. For the last couple of weeks, I've been trying to double dip on you guys. So I got my man Isaiah McKenzie is going to be joining me. We're going to be talking about the wide receiver room for this year's version of the Buffalo Bills. Everything that's been going on during the offseason. And I also got my man Antoine Staley, who's the beat reporter for the Carolina Panthers. We talk about the Cam Newton disrespect, really just throughout the league, how he should be viewed, the areas that he does need to work on and improve on, the leadership and all that stuff. And it's a good episode. We're gonna have some fun on it.
I like that. We got some fire. We got some fire content creators, man. And yeah, people don't realize, man, the hours and time spent on making these phone calls and emails to gather these guests and getting the content together. There's a lot of things that go on in the background that a lot of folks don't know. So shout out to my guy, Jason Sturos. Break them down, man. What do we got coming our way?
Oh, we break. So I'm with the Hoof Podcast. We got my guy, Anthony and Eric, the co-hosts. But we're going to be talking about the defense, man. We're going to be breaking down what to expect from Ed Oliver, the secondary, and so forth. My guy Tremaine Edmonds, I'm gonna have a little speech about him being Defensive Player of the Year. I think it's time to talk about Tremaine as Defensive Player of the Year, and I'm gonna tell you why. So we don't have a guest this week, but I do have a couple big guests that are gonna be coming our way in the next few weeks.
Can we give a teaser on who, or we gonna keep it silent?
I mean, I'm gonna leave that to Big Dog up there, Pierre. I mean, he's Geppetto.
It's on you, man.
So we got all right. So y'all
no. I'm gonna cut that. Don't say a word. Y'all gotta tune in. It's a big one. I'm gonna just say this. It's a big one.
It's a big one. Sure.
Yeah, you're gonna love this. So y'all gotta
know who he is for sure.
Oh, you definitely know who he is for sure. My guy Joe Miller says I'm just gonna bounce this audio and use this for this week's overreaction show and take a week off. That's what it is. So, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate your time. We appreciate you tuning in on your Saturday evening. And gentlemen, I appreciate you guys tuning in to the barbershop. If you guys appreciate the content that is coming your way, please hit that like. And I can't let this segment go without my man Pierre giving a shout out, giving a little love to everybody wants to hear from you, man, because they haven't heard from you in a long time, man. Bless the mic.
A lot of people always say, why I haven't been on camera, and look, we've been doing this for a long time, Rico. As far as doing the camera thing, and I told myself, look, we have to grow the brand by adding more talent. So I just told myself, I'm taking a step back. I'm gonna try to grow these guys like my man, Sterling's and Jay Spence. Give them the platform to shine, and then I might sprinkle in here and there. But yeah, man, it's all about the team at the end of the day. Shout out to the entire team, man. I mean, I'm talking about you guys are grinding for real, man. And
yes, sir,
it's greatly appreciated, man, for sure.
And I will say this, man, because Pierre's not on the camera, man, but this boy is grinding. His brain is always tick, 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 tick. Sometimes it's annoying. So, yo, enough. But he makes this thing go. So shout out to my guy, Big P Money. And listen, man, Josh Allen for MVP. I don't think so, but Josh Allen for MVP for you guys that's out there. Triple H, think with your hearts. Anyway, folks, thank you guys for tuning in. This is the Barbershop brought to you by the Buffalo Fanatics. You guys have a great night, and we'll see you guys next week.
Go Lake Show, go.
Yes, we'll see you guys next week with all the content creators that we got on BF. 7 days a week. Let's go. BF all day. Let's go. Thank you guys. Have a good night.